Glasgow Rangers are a Scottish footballing giant. However, in recent years, they fell second fiddle to arch rival Celtic, as they haven't won the Scottish Premier League since 2021. This has been the only time Rangers have won the SPL since they got promoted back to the SPL in 2016 after financial problems. However, in that time, they have had some success in Europe, reaching a Europa League final where they narrowly lost on penalties to Frankfurt. However, the Europa League is not good enough for Glasgow Rangers. We are jumping into FC24 and we are going to win them a Champions League trophy, whilst also making them the dominant force in Scottish football, because Celtic's reign has to come to an end. Remember, lads, if you enjoyed the content, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. If you want to see anyone rebuilt in future videos, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below and I will get round to rebuilding them. Let's get this rebuild on the way. So this is the Rangers team we've loaded into, lads, and do you know what? It's actually quite good. We've got some brilliant players like Tavernier in the right back position, Raskin in centre midfield, and Danilo up top. So this is a side I can definitely work with. So we've moved some players about, lads, and this is going to be the starting 11 to take us into season 1, and I think we've got a very good squad for the Scottish League. I'm just hoping that that team's got enough to beat Celtic to the league title, because as we can see, the board are expecting instant success to us to win the league and the cup, and that is a critical priority. Now, as we know, lads, with these rebuilds, the first transfer window is always disabled, so we're stuck with this team anyway until January the 1st. And when we do get to January, lads, we'll have £23 million to bring some players in. And the tactical vision we've decided on, lads, is the tiki-taka style of play. Now, this is because we've got a really good midfield three, and I think they should be able to dominate games for us in the Scottish leagues, because let's be realistic, we're not going to be challenging in the Europa League or Champions League anytime soon. So we've sorted the starting 11, tactical vision, and the finances. Now we're going to be simulating forward through to January the 1st, and I'm just hoping that we're challenging Celtic for the league title. And very quickly, lads, before I forget, we're actually in the Europa League in season 1. We've got Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and CFR 907 Cluj, I think that's how you pronounce that name. In all honesty, lads, I've not got my hopes up. If we get through, we get through, but I'm expecting us to go out here, to be honest. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and oh my god, we've had a shocking start to our life as Rangers, boss. We're currently 4th in the SPL, but we are only 3 points off tabletop in Hearts, so as it stands, we won't even be playing in Europe next season. Speaking of Europe, lads, we did actually manage to sneak through our Champions League group in 2nd place on 10 points, and we will take on Napoli in the preliminary round. That's just so unfair, lads. Now, as you know, lads, it's January and we can finally bring some players in, and I've identified Scott McTominay of Manchester United as our first transfer target. He's 79 rated and 27-year-old, lads, and I think he'd be a great addition for Rangers. And for just £12.85 million, lads, we have brought Scott McTominay from Manchester United to Rangers. Now, after the signing of McTominay, lads, we do actually still have £14 million to spend. And looking at starting 11, lads, I really feel like we're lacking a proper good winger, so I'm going to go in for a right winger to replace Wright, as he's 72 rated and 26-year-old, lads, and doesn't have much more room to grow. We've also got 6 players out of contract at the end of the season, lads, and they're all pretty much over 30 years old. The only player we're going to be renewing is John Lundstrom. The rest are free to leave the club either now or at the end of the season. And for our final signing of this January window, lads, we have brought in a very exciting right midfielder from the Premier League. We have brought in Facundo Buonanotte for £7 million from Brighton. Buonanotte is 71 rated and 19 years old, lads, and he's got insane potential in this year's game. So after the incomings of McTominay and Buonanotte, I'm expecting this team to do much better in the second half of the season and hopefully press on and win the SPL. So let's simulate forward to the end of the season, lads, and see if we manage to clinch the SPL title. So we've reached the end of season 1, lads, and as you can see, we finished 3rd in the Cinch Premier League, 7 points off tabletop in Celtic. Then when we got to the second stage, the Championship group, we finished 2nd, 1 point behind tabletop in Celtic, even though we were really good in the Championship rounds of fixtures. But there is some good news, lads. We did win the Scottish Cup, beating Celtic 4-1 in the final, bringing home our first piece of silverware of the rebuild. So we didn't manage to reach the final of the Europa League, lads. I don't think anyone's surprised about that, but we did actually reach the semi-finals, where we were beaten 5-3 over 2 legs by Sporting Lisbon. And maybe, just maybe, I've underestimated our team a little bit, because looking at it on paper, lads, it is actually quite a strong squad. We've got some really good players like Scott McTominay, Pod Cantwell and Danilo, all going at really good rates. So in all honesty, lads, this squad is definitely growing and getting a lot better. Now, going into season 2, I definitely want to bring in a better goalkeeper than Butland, someone who's young and has got very high potential. And I'm also looking to that left midfield position, thinking, do I replace Matondo as well? Now, in terms of stats, lads, our top scorer was Danilo this season, getting 34 goals and 12 assists in 54 games. Pod Cantwell had an outstanding season, getting 19 goals and 10 assists as well. We also had a wonder kid in our academy, lads. Lucas McNeil has been promoted to the senior team. He's 16 years old, 64 rated, and he's got potential to be special. This guy's one to watch out for in the future. So let's get into season 2, lads, and let's try to win the Scottish Premier League. We've arrived in season 2, lads, and we've got £37 million to improve our squad, and we can bring in a very good goalkeeper with that kind of money. And our search for a goalkeeper, lads, has brought us to Sebastian Meza, a 75 rated 24-year-old goalkeeper from the Argentinian leagues. Now, we cannot pay his market value for him, so we're going to have to just activate his release clause, but I don't mind doing this, lads. This guy's got great potential in this year's game. And after activating Meza's release clause, we have brought him to Rangers for £11 million. Now, after the signing of Meza, we're still left with £28 million to spend, and I'm going to bring in Gabriel Veron, a 77 rated 21-year-old Brazilian winger from Cadiz CF. He's got brilliant pace, brilliant dribbling, and he's got very, very good potential in this year's game. And Veron was not cheap. He comes to Rangers for £23 million. So after the signings of Veron and Mirza, lads, we're left with just £3 million, and that brings our transfer window to a close. Meaning this will be the Rangers team to take us into season 2, lads, and you cannot deny it's looking much, much stronger on paper, and hopefully this year we can actually win the SPL. So we've reached the end of the transfer window, lads, and I have got some going to bring you up to date with. Sam Lammers has joined Valencia for £3.3 million. Academy wonder kid Lucas McNeil has joined Başakşehir on loan for the season. John Lundstrom handed in a transfer request, so we sold him to Fenerbahce for £3.6 million. Alex Lowry has joined Norwich for £3 million. Very exciting young centre-back Leon King will join Bournemouth for the season. Kieran Doe has left the club to join Ajax for £4.45 million. And the big one, Ianis Hadji has joined Lazio for £10.7 million, lads. It was a hard decision, but I'm going to go with Todd Cantwell over him. And that means, lads, when we arrive in January, we'll have £34 million to spend. So I'm not going to spend it all now because I can't scout anyone in time. I'm going to save that money, scout a load of players, and then in January we'll use the money to improve our squad even further. And lads, it is absolute heartbreak in the Champions League. We didn't even manage to get past the qualification round. We lost to Galatasaray 4-2 over 2 legs. I have to be fair to the lads, that is a difficult draw, but we should have got through. We should at least be getting to the group stage. So I don't understand how this works, lads, but we've ended up in the Europa League and we've got Spurs, Malmo and Shamrock Rovers. We should actually be getting through that group, to be honest. If anyone can let me know in the comment section down below, if you lose the qualification round in the Champions League, do you automatically go into the Europa League? So if we're out at January the 1st, lads, and oh my god, we are running away with the Scottish Premier Division. We are top of the league, 13 points clear of second place Celtic, and we have not lost a single game all season. We are dominating Scottish football at the minute. And lads, we just managed to scrape through a Europa League group. Shamrock Rovers of all clubs took us right to the edge. We got 9 points. We're through to the second round, and we will take on AS Monaco. You can't see it because my big head's blocking the way, but we've got AS Monaco in the next round. Now we've got £37 million to improve the squad, lads, and I'm thinking we're definitely lacking in the centre-back position, so I'm going to bring in a new centre-back to replace Suter. He's only 76 rated and 28-year-old. He's not going to grow much more. Let's get a proper, good, world-class young centre-back in. And we've identified the centre-back we want to bring into the football club. It's Benoit Badiashile of Chelsea, 23 years old, 80 rated French centre-back. And given the fact he'll be on the left side of our defence, it makes a big difference that he's actually left-footed. And lads, it's absolutely bankrupted us in the process, but we have brought Benoit Badiashile to Rangers for £35.4 million. And the incoming of Badiashile leaves us with just £1 in our transfer budget, so it's safe to say no more activity in this window. So we've arrived at deadline day, lads, and the rest I'm going to bring you up to date with. Jack Butland joined Real Betis for £3.5 million. John Sterling joined Brentford on loan till the end of the season, and Ross McCausland joined Cardiff City for £1.35 million. Bringing a close to our transfer window, lads. Let's get forward to the end of the season and see how we got on. So we've reached the end of season 2, lads, and we finished top of the Cinch Premier League on 86 points, 13 points clear of Celtic, losing just once all season. Then we went to the Championship group, lads, and went 5-4-5, finishing the league season on 101 points. What a team we have built here at Rangers. And in just season 2, lads, we have done the domestic double as we smashed Celtic once again in the Scottish Cup final 4-1. I think the reins of most dominant club in Scotland has been handed over to Rangers. Now, we once again had an okay run in the Europa League, lads. We got to the quarterfinals where we were knocked out narrowly by Wolfsburg. 6-4 over 2 legs. There's no shame in that, lads. We are improving in Europe. So let's have a look at the team that is absolutely dominating Scottish football, and it is very, very clear to see why. The team looks incredible on paper. The likes of Buonanotte and Veron growing nicely on the wings. Yilmaz continues to develop at a great rate at 81 rated. Badiashile grew by 2 already as well. Going into next season though, lads, I do think it might be time to change James Tavernier. He's 78 rated and 33 years old, so he's only going to decline from here, and the same goes for Connor Goldson, who's 32-year-old and 78 rated. We need to replace them too, lads. And in terms of stats, lads, Danilo was absolutely unbelievable, getting 40 goals and 15 assists in the SPL. As you can see, most of his goals did come in the SPL, getting 29 in 37. So going into season 3, lads, we need to start performing better in Europe because we're going to be in the Champions League. I want to get to at least the quarterfinals of the Champions League, lads. So we're out in season 3, lads, and we've got £32 million to improve our squad. But I've had a bit of a brainwave. I have changed Scott McTominay's position from a CDM to a centre-back, and he will be in the centre-back position for the next season. Meaning the transfer targets have now changed for this window. We are looking for a new centre midfielder to replace Cifuentes, and we also want to bring in a new right back as Tavernier is aging. Now, lads, I know some of you Rangers fans watching this are not going to enjoy what I'm going to do now, but as you know, we are in the market to replace James Tavernier. He's 33 years old and 78 rated. By the end of this season, lads, he's going to be about 74, 73 rated, and Chelsea have come in and bid £10.6 million for him, but we could get up to 13 million. I know how much of a Rangers legend he is, lads, but just for the purposes of actually trying to win the Champions League, I'm going to have to let him go and bring in a better replacement. So, lads, we've had a little boost to our transfer budget as we have won the European International Cup, winning £4 million of prize money. And, lads, here is confirmation. Club legend James Tavernier is leaving Rangers, and we have got £13.5 million from him. I think that's a pretty good deal, lads. I'm just sad to see him go. And we've now got £57 million to improve our squad, which is a very, very healthy budget. So we have identified James Tavernier's replacement, lads, and it is Aaron Hickey, a right back, currently earning his trade in the French League. He's 80 rated and 23 years old. It's going to be a pricey deal, lads, but I do think we can make something happen. And for £27.7 million, lads, Aaron Hickey is a Rangers player. And we're also in the market for a centre midfielder, lads, and we have identified Elliot Anderson as our primary midfield target. He's 22 years old, 78 rated, looks very, very well rounded, Scottish as well. I think this will be an amazing signing. And for £21 million, lads, we have brought Elliot Anderson to Rangers. After the signings of Hickey and Anderson, we are left with £3 million, meaning our transfer window is finished. And this is how the Rangers team is looking going into season 3, and we have got an incredible squad on our hands there, lads. I think we can have a really, really successful season this time round. And oh my god, lads, our Champions League group is in, and we have got Real Madrid, Fenerbahce and Sparta Prague. That could not be any more difficult to get through. I just thought we've got enough to get past Fenerbahce and Sparta Prague, because there's no way we're topping Real Madrid. So we've literally had just a one out going in this window, lads. James Tavernier joining Chelsea. It's now time to simulate forward to January the 1st, and let's see if we've got through that incredibly hard Champions League group. So we've arrived at January the 1st, lads, and I have to say I am massively disappointed with our performance this season. We're currently sitting 3rd in the Premier League, 7 points off table topping Celtic, and we've already lost 6 times in 20 games. What has gone wrong this season with Rangers? I mean, looking at this team, lads, there's no way this team should be 3rd in the SPL. I'm hoping we have a much better second half to the season and actually close the distance between us and Celtic. And it's much, much better news in the Champions League, lads. We actually finished 2nd, 4 points clear of 3rd place Fenerbahce, meaning we're through to the knockout rounds, and we will take on Inter Milan in the round of 16. Now, with only £1 million of our transfer budget, lads, we're not going to be bringing anyone in this window, and we are going to be allowing Connor Goldson and Ben Davies to leave the club on the expiry of their contracts. They're both 33 and 30 respectively. They're only going to decrease in overall. They've been great servants to Rangers, but it's time for them to move on. So we have reached the end of the transfer window, lads. We have had some interest in our players, but we've accepted no offers. We're not really looking to do any business. We've had no incomings either, as you know, so we're going to be simulating forward now to the end of the season, and I just hope we've got into a Champions League place at least. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and we did in fact finish top of the league, going on a 13-game unbeaten run in the process. Then when we got to the second stage, we won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1, and ended up winning the league entirely. And in other news, lads, grass is green, water is wet. Rangers win the Scottish Cup, this time smashing Hibernian 5-0 in the final. No Champions League final for us this season, which is understandable. We didn't even get past Inter Milan, lads. They absolutely smashed us 6-3 over 2 legs. So this is the Rangers team at the end of season 3, lads, and as you can see, we've had some excellent growth from the likes of Anderson, Buonanotte, Danilo, Cantwell and Badashile, just to name a few. However, I have encountered a bit of a glitch. Rashkin, now, hasn't played a game for about 3 weeks since the season ended, and he's still got 0 fitness, so I definitely hope that bug fixes itself for season 4. Otherwise, what we're actually going to do with Raskin? He can't play. On a more serious note though, lads, going into season 4, I do think we need a new goalkeeper to replace Meza, as he's just not growing. He's 26 years old, so there is room to grow, but I just don't think he is the man to help us get to a Champions League final, so we are going to replace him next season. And looking at the stats, lads, Danilo had another brilliant season, getting 35 goals and 12 assists, 28 of which coming in the Premier League. Facundo Buonanotte grew by 6 overalls this season, getting 18 goals and 17 assists in the process. Elliot Anderson had a great first season in Scotland, getting 16 goals and 8 assists, and Todd Cantwell had a great season as well, getting 16 and 9. So all in all, lads, the players are scoring, they're assisting, we are doing well. I think we just need to close up shop and bring in a better goalkeeper. We've arrived in season 4, lads, and we have got a big budget of £54 million to improve our squad. And it appears the Raskin glitch has followed us over into season 4. He's just stuck on 0 fitness. I've got no idea what to do with him, lads. And as we can see, lads, a critical board objective this season is to sign a first-team player assigned to the midfielder position. So I might even cash in on Raskin and sell him and bring in the new centre midfielder, because he's clearly glitched. I can't have a player in the team with 0 energy. And we have managed to sell Nicholas Raskin to PSG for £60 million, meaning we've now got £113 million to improve our squad. And lads, we have had another major outgoing. Sebastian Meza has joined Udinese for £28 million. But lads, I have got an amazing replacement lined up. We are going to bring in Tottenham Hotspur's Guglielmo Ricario, 87 rated 29-year-old goalkeeper at the peak of his abilities. Let's get him into the football club. And for £60.8 million, we have brought Vicario to Rangers. And we have also identified identified Raskin's replacement, lads. We're going to bring in Quinton Timber from Feyenoord. He can play centre mid, centre attacking mid, centre defensive mid, and is very, very versatile. He's 25 years old and 84 rated. I think he'll be an amazing signing, and it's not even going to cost us that much to bring him in, lads. And for £50 million, lads, we have brought Quinton Timber to Rangers, and that means we have £29 million of our transfer budget remaining, lads. But I think that's our transfer window done. And I have to admit, lads, looking at this Rangers team that we've built, I'd be really disappointed if we're not at least into the Champions League quarterfinals this season, especially given the fact we've got Security and Vicario in goal at 87 rated. He's going to be so hard to score past. Our centre-back Pervin of Bedichil and McTominay is very, very strong as well. The reached deadline day, lads. There's been no further incomings and no further outgoings in this window. And our Champions League group consists of Chelsea, Club Brugge and Atalanta. Lads, what have we done to deserve this? However, the squad is looking very strong on paper, and I do think we can get through this group. Let's get forward to January the 1st and find out if we did. So we're out of January the 1st, lads, and we are absolutely smashing it in the Scottish Premier League. We are top of the league, 9 points clear of second place Hearts, and we have lost just once in our opening 20 games, lads. But remember last season, lads, it can all change in the space of just 13 games, so nothing's won just yet, but I'm very happy with the start we've made. And lads, I am absolutely delighted with how our Champions League group went. We finished second on 13 points. Atalanta didn't win a single game, and we are through to the round of 16 where we will take on Atletico Madrid. That is another very tough tie for us. Now, we do have £24 million, lads, but we do need this money to renew some contracts. I don't really think anything less than £40 million are going to bring in a first team starter, so there's going to be no incomers in this window. And lads, we are only letting one player leave at the end of the season. Is Robbie McCrory. He is free to leave the club either now or at the end of the season. But that's the transfer window done, lads. No incomings and no outgoings. Let's simulate forward to the end of the season, and I'm just hoping for better performance in Europe. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and we have absolutely walked the Cinch Premier League, finishing 8 points clear of second place Hearts. And when we got to the Championship group, lads, we absolutely walked it yet again, finishing 13 points clear of second place Hearts. But lads, we have actually not won the Scottish Cup. Hearts won the Scottish Cup, and we got knocked out in the semi-finals. What's gone on? We changed the name of the cup to the Rangers Cup, and we've actually lost it for the first time in the rebuild, I think. And this team, lads, just continues to improve and improve. Facundo Buonanotte becomes the first 90 rated player of the rebuild. Elliot Anderson's grown all the way up to 86. So the squad's looking really, really good, lads. Going into next season, though, boys, I'm thinking primary target is going to be a left midfielder to replace Gabriel Veron, because he is not growing at that much of a good rate. Now, speaking of the Champions League, lads, we didn't make the final. It'll be an all-English final between Liverpool and Manchester City. We were actually knocked out in the quarter-finals on penalties by Liverpool. That just goes to show, lads, we are making progress. We're inching closer and closer to the final with every season that passes by. So looking at the squad, lads, and once again, our best player was Danilo, getting 34 goals and 11 assists, actually breaking the 30-goal barrier in the Cinch Premier League. What a season he had. Todd Cantwell had a great season as well, getting 26 goals and 9 assists, but Quinton Timber in his first season in Scotland got 19 goals and 9 assists. That's a great return. And our star boy Facundo Buonanotte got 18 goals and 16 assists. So a really, really good return from the bulk of the players, lads. But going into season 5, we definitely need to be getting towards the latter stages of the Champions League, because I think we've got the squad to do it now. So we've arrived in season 5 and we've got £92 million to improve our squad. So our first income into this transfer window, lads, is a bit of a peculiar one. As you know, at the end of last season, we let a goalkeeper go, meaning we only had Vicario left at the club. We have brought in Cristobal Agudelo from the free agents list. He's 18 years old and 80 rated, and he's going to be a great backup to Vicario this season. So at the end of last season, lads, we did say we wanted to bring in a left midfielder, and I have found the man for the job. Ansu Fati from Aston Villa, 24 years old and 86 overall. This would be an amazing signing. However, we are going to have to fork out the big bucks to bring him to Rangers. And lads, we have brought Ansu Fati to Rangers for a whopping £95 million, and that leaves us with just £9 million of our transfer budget remaining, lads. So it's safe to say that's the only bit of business we're doing in this window. But we did have to sell some players in order to fund the Fati deal. Scott Wright is a traitor. He has jumped ship and joined Celtic. Oh my god. And we've also spent a good chunk of our budget, lads, recruiting the best coaches from around the world, and just look at how many good coaches we've got at the club now. So we've reached the end of the transfer window, lads. There was no more incomings, no more outgoings. All that's left to do is check our Champions League group. And in the Champions League, we have got Juventus, Club Brugge again, and Lech Poznan. Do you know what? That's not a bad group, lads, and I do expect us to go through that group. So we've reached January the 1st, lads, and it is business as usual in the Cinch Premier League. We are 9 points clear of second placed Hearts, only losing 2 of our first 20 games of the season, and honestly, the Scottish League has just become far too easy for our squad. And lads, we absolutely breezed what was a pretty difficult Champions League group not even losing a single game, finishing on 16 points, and that sets up a bumper tie against Bayern Munich. We have not had easy draws in this rebuild, and we've only got £8 million in this January transfer window, lads, so there's going to be no incomers, and I'm not looking to sell anyone either. We've reached the end of the season, lads, and it is business as usual in the Cinch Premier League. We're 16 points clear of second place Celtic, and into the Championship group unbeaten again, finishing the season on 93 points. Just becoming too easy for us this league, lads. And after disappointment in the Scottish Cup last season, we do win it again, so it's back to being the Rangers Cup with smash Aberdeen 3-1 in the final. And finally, lads, we have reached the Champions League final, and we will be taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Now, our run to the final was a pretty interesting one. We ended up beating Bayern Munich 4-2 over 2 legs, winning the first leg 4-0, then losing the second one 2-0. That's just very temperamental of us. Second leg, we narrowly edged past Barcelona in a thrilling tie, 4-3 over 2 legs, including a 2-2 draw at the Nou Camp. And then, lads, just feast your eyes. Rangers 6, Manchester City 0. Read that again. Rangers 6, Man City 0. To set up a final with Bayer Leverkusen. Honestly blown away at how good this Rangers team has been from start to finish. So this is the Rangers team that has got us to a Champions League final, lads, and it's clear to see it is a very, very good team on paper. Buonanotte and Anderson being our best players at 90 and 94 rated. Danilo 89, very close to 90 as well. Vicario is also 89. Did have a season-ending injury for Aaron Hickey, so we had to recall one of our academy graduates, Fort, and evidently he's done a good job as we've got to a final. That means that in the final, though, we will be playing with a 75 rated right back, which I'm not really too keen on. And once again, lads, Danilo was absolutely outstanding, getting 41 goals and 4 assists this season in 54 games, just getting better and better. Ansu Fati had an outstanding first season as a Rangers player, getting 33 goals and 14 assists. The Champions League final will be played at Wembley Stadium in front of 90,000 fans. This should be an amazing occasion. So it is time for the Champions League final at Wembley Stadium, lads. Rangers versus Bayer Leverkusen. Whether or not it makes a bit of a better run, we could be in here, lads. Passes on here to Danilo inside 10 minutes. I'm a bit far wide. Have a shot. Nope. Just a good save. What I like about this Rangers team, lads, we have kept some of the starting players like Cantwell and Danilo in the team. Been really, really good in this first half. Yilmaz. Bate, come on. Oh, I was expecting net from... Oh my God. I was literally just expecting the net to rattle. That cannot have been far away. Oh, it's a whisker. And interestingly, Bayer Leverkusen have got Karnasechi in goal, who was actually our goalkeeper in our previous rebuild. Leave it away though. Cantwell make a run. Cantwell. Oh my God. Todd Cantwell makes it 1-0 to Rangers. A very rare power shot from me. Too much space given to him by the centre-backs to give the ball away in such a bad area, and Cantwell makes no mistake. It's past Karnasechi before he can even set himself. And Rangers boys are 1-0 up in the Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen. Nope. Shot, and it's wide. Unlucky. Referee played well over a minute. Played nearly 3 minutes, ref. Or not. If they score here, I'm telling you. What a block. What a block. Get it away. Jesus, the ref actually played 5 additional minutes when he was only supposed to play 1. Are you joking? Good job we got that block in with Badashile. But we're 1-0 up at half-time, lads, and that's all that matters. Oh, he's in. This could be the sealer. Danilo. Back stick to Cantwell. Oh my God, are you joking me? Are you joking me? That's one of the worst crosses ever. Oh, we should have been winning that back there. Oh no. Jimenez. Good save by Vicario. They're getting closer, aren't they? They are getting closer here. Leverkusen, we could do with that second goal. 15 minutes of the game are left, lads. Not been many clear-cut chances in this second half, but that's how we like it. It is 1-0. Sané's give it away. Poor ball. Cantwell. Danilo to seal it. Oh, he does as well. Right into the top corner. And it is 2-0 to Rangers. And the Champions League trophy is surely making its way back to Scotland. All comes from a really poor pass in the Leverkusen half. Cantwell, who's been here since day one, slips in Danilo. And he smashes it into the roof of the net. No saving that. What a finish that is from Danilo. And it's our 2 day ones linking up Cantwell and Danilo. And it's our 2 day ones who actually scored the goals in the Champions League final. The chance here, you know. Good effort, and it's just wide. Wow. Jesus, felt like we're going to fly into the back of the net then. Is that the full time whistle? There we go, lads. We have won the Champions League with Rangers in just 5 seasons. We're beat by Leverkusen 2-0 in the final. Cantwell and Danilo were the goals, and the trophy is coming back to Scotland. And it will be club captain Scott McTominay to lift the trophy. He was the first signing we made of the rebuild, so a lot of sentiment going on here in this final, and all that's left to do is watch Rangers lift the trophy and Rangers are the champions of Europe, and that is another rebuild successfully completed. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys, and thank you very much for 1,000 plus subscribers. That is a massive achievement, and I'm very grateful for all the support recently on the channel. Our next video is the first video of 2024, and we are rebuilding a team in the Spanish second division, so that's not one to miss, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.